When I introduce myself, I'm like, hi, my name's Ben. I'm Congolese. We do not pick where we're from. We're all born into a culture, into a nationality, whatever. We then pick how we want to identify with that. I love being Congolese and all of that, and I count myself as someone who's half demi-successful. Like I'm getting there. So I thought you can have both. Like you can do the two. You don't have to be West African to be successful. You can be from Congo and absolutely love Congolese food and speak your language like a freshie, like how I do, and still be a working professional. It's very, very, very possible.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have two special guests. I have Benedict.
Hi.
And I have my Basha.
Hi.
She's the home girls. And we're here to do a video for you guys. We're going to talk about a topic that's really close to our hearts. So, girls.
Yeah. Yo.
So what we're talking about is pretty much challenging the stereotype of Congolese women that is out there at the moment. I don't know about you guys watching or either of you two. If you've noticed, like, we're not really shown positively.
Yeah.
Whenever we think about Congo, especially Congolese women or Congolese men, it's always the same stereotypes over and over again.
Can you dance?
Can you dance?
Do you know this person?
This person, oh yeah.
Does your dad have yellow shoes?
Yeah. Crocodile shoes.
I don't understand.
Skin bleaching.
Does your dad have yellow shoes?
And there's more to us than that. And the other day, I was just browsing on Twitter. I'm not really active on Twitter as I used to be before, but I was just browsing as I do, on my commute to work in the morning. I don't remember if it was on my way to work or was on my way back home. And then I came across this tweet, and I was like, whoa, okay, like, what do you mean? So I'll read the tweet out for you, and I'll even screenshot it, so I'll have it on one of these sides of the screen so you guys can see. It says, this individual said, "Sometimes I feel so ashamed telling guys I'm Congolese because of how we're bantered here on TL. It's sad." Then the individual went on to say, "Feels like I can never get there or be accepted because of it. It's like a barrier. Never used to feel like this before." So when I read that, I was like, wow, do people actually feel like this? And I'm sure you two came across this tweet as well. Yeah. What was your take on this? Like, what came to mind when you saw it?
I was like, oh my god. Like, because I love being Congolese for me is like, I don't know, I love it. So I'm always, that's the first thing, like when Vash was saying, that's the first thing I say when I introduce myself. I'm like, hi, my name's Ben. I'm Congolese. I just have to say that about myself because I love being Congolese, and I feel like for someone to say that makes them feel ashamed, that hurts me. And rather than, like, I actually responded to the tweet and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way, because I really, like, I wanted to uplift the person. I was more thinking like, I'm so sorry that you feel like being where you're from is holding you back, whereas I see it as such a positive thing. Like, I love my culture, I love my languages, I love the food, I just love being Congolese. So for me, that was like, it was a turning point. And not only, I don't know, I just thought, I love being Congolese and all of that, and I count myself as someone who's half demi-successful. Like I'm getting there. So I thought you can have both. Like you can do the two. You don't have to be West African to be successful. You can be from Congo and absolutely love Congolese food and speak your language like a freshie, like how I do, and still be a working professional. It's very, very, very possible. I don't know.
For me, I think I was a bit saddened by the tweet. I was just like, but why? Why do you feel that way? But then, as I was saying to the girls earlier, I don't know whether it's because I'm surrounded by so many Congolese people that I know who are doing quite well, actually. And I think Congolese people haven't been in the UK for a really long time. And not many people, I feel like not many other cultures know a lot about Congolese people apart from what they see on social media or see in videos or whatever. So people just generally have their perceptions about Congolese people without actually, they might not even know one Congolese person, but it's just like, all Congolese people wear pointy shoes, they can all dance. And it's like, actually there's so much more to us than just dancing or music or, fashion and whatever. And I just feel like, I think I replied to that tweet actually. But no, it makes me feel sad because I'm super, super, super proud to be Congolese. Whenever I'm in a room with people who aren't Congolese, as Ben said, I just tell them, yep, straight away, I'm Congolese. And it's proud because I feel like I can teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't look Congolese or you don't sound Congolese. And it's just about, I think if you are a Congolese person, you should create your own identity within that circle. And I think that's what I'd like to say to that.
Yeah, that's the same with me. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, but there's so many others doing great things, doing positive things. It might be a case where this individual isn't surrounded by people who are on the come up. It's all down to your surroundings as well. And yes, just surround yourself with positivity. And if you don't have those kind of people around you, then try and aim to be that person so that you can inspire other people to, you know, to be proud of where they're from and to go and do great as well.
Like my mum for me is a really big role model for me. Like obviously everyone's always like my mum's my role model, but my mum genuinely actually is. She genuinely actually is. Like she came to this country 27 years ago, and just like she's got 2 degrees, and now my mum is a qualified senior social worker. Like, you know, and she works for a borough council, and I just feel like she does a job where people who are my age are aspiring to do, and sometimes can't get into, and she's, you know, double their age kind of thing. I don't know, like, and I just feel like because a lot of Congolese, I've heard this with Congolese young people before that, I don't have Congolese friends, I stay away from Congolese girls. Okay, fine, stay away from Congolese girls, but what about your mum? What about your auntie? Like, what about people that brought you up? What about your family members? Don't they inspire you? Because I know for a fact, without even going outside, without even looking to my friend or my best friend who's Congolese, I just look at my mum and immediately I know there are strong Congolese, ambitious women. And I've got one as a role model and I'm aspiring to be one as well.
Yeah. And even if you don't have one as a role model, because not everybody has somebody in their lives who is a role model, I still think that you should know who you are. So if you are a Congolese person and you are in the midst of people who aren't Congolese, you should still be proud and be strong and stand up and say, actually, this is who I am. If you don't like it, you don't have to like me, you can step to the left. But this is who I am and this is my identity. And if you are the first Congolese person and that person's met, you are actually sort of creating that standard. They will be like, oh, actually, I did know that Congolese. I knew one Congolese person, and it was XYZ, and she was like this. So if you are the only Congolese person in that mix, you need to stand up and just be yourself.
So how do you guys go about like challenging the stereotype, you know, of us having crazy hair, being loud, being ratchet, and all we're known for is, you know, partying, drinking? How have you managed to be who you are and not fall into that stereotype?
No, it's being yourself, finding your own niche and realizing that yes, you are from X country, but you are still your own person, and also not being afraid to try new things. I definitely implore everybody to try new things, try and think outside of the box, whatever box that is, and also trying to believe in yourself to the point where you're like, people will say, okay, I can't do XYZ, but you're like, actually I can do it, and it doesn't matter who I am or where I come from, but that space is valid for me. So like essentially taking ownership of everything that's in your grasp and just working really, really hard.
Just being myself, I think that's the most important thing, because when I was at uni, when I did my undergrad, I was like, when I was at college, I knew that, okay, I wanted to read law at uni, then I read law at university, and then after I thought, okay, let me go to law school, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm Congolese, let me try and think of Congolese things to do. I just wanted to, it was just me, I was just unapologetically me. And so like, I think just being true to myself and then realising that, okay, I can reach higher. Like when I was growing up anyway, where I came from wasn't a factor to me. I didn't know that it was a factor to people. So I didn't make it a factor to me. I believe that when you magnify things, when you magnify that, they become big in your head. So if you say, oh my gosh, I'm Congolese, that small thing becomes a big reality in your mind. So I didn't magnify that. I just said I want to be a lawyer one day, and by God's grace, here I am on my journey, nearly completed. So I don't know. I think the things I magnified were hard work, ambition, drive, focus, you know, work experience. That's what I magnified in my head. And then, oh, okay, I'm from Congo. Like, you know, and then that's it. But not to the point where let me try and think of roles that Congolese people do, and let me see if I can slot myself into like a Congolese style themed role. That just wasn't me. I was just me, and And part of me is being Congolese and part of me being a lawyer. They work hand in hand.
So with Congolese people being bantered on the TL, you know, we see it every now and then, like people throwing memes or not memes, I'm gonna say memes of Congolese people. Like, what's your reaction to that? How do you take it? Do you let it affect you negatively, or do you just like, oh well?
But people mock things that they don't know.
Yeah.
So for example, in the UK, it's very obvious to say that there's a lot of West Africans, a lot of Nigerians and Ghanaians. Their culture is quite everywhere. So you watch Nollywood. It's quite people know what Nigerian culture and Ghanaian culture consists of. I don't know. I just feel like people mock things that they don't know. Like you see a meme, and someone will put like, "Oh, look at these pointy shoes. They must belong to a Congolese person." Okay, fine. Do you know what a Congolese national dish is? No? Do you know any of the languages spoken in Congo? No?
Oh, they just think it's Lingala.
Yeah, Lingala.
Congolese.
Oh, yeah. You speak Congolese.
Oh, are you Congolian?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I heard that. Are you Congolian? Congolian. I'm like, imagine if I said, are you Nigerianese? Like,
right.
what would you even, like, or do you speak Nigerian? I just feel like people mock what they don't know.
It's ignorance.
Yeah.
Just to put it bluntly, it's very, very ignorant. So when I see it on the TL, I'm just like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot because you're just mocking somebody from where they're from. Hold on. Firstly, let's even discuss that. We do not pick where we're from. We're all born into a culture, into a nationality, whatever. We then pick how we want to identify with that. So the fact that you want to now come and say, oh, all these people are like this and that and that, it's no better than, you know, what's going on now in America with the whole immigration ban. It's just the fear of the other. And I feel like it's just ignorance. I don't really like, you know, throw anything back at it. Like if someone wants to, you know, cuss Congolese people in the timeline, I'm not going to be like, well, because I know who I am. Because I know who I am. I don't need to come and try to, you know, prove to you that I'm not what you're trying to say because I know my truth. But it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, also, what you need to remember is that people on Twitter, they say things and do things to get retweets or to get that popularity online. Sometimes they don't even mean it. They just want a few people to laugh and be like social media famous for a day or two. So I just don't even take it seriously. I just look, scroll, that's it. And I just keep it moving. Like, it doesn't really affect me. So we have another bone to pick. One of my friends posted on Facebook, and when I read it, I was like, whoa, again. So the status says, I was with a Ghanaian friend just having a general conversation about women, and out of the blue he asked me, why are Congolese girls from your community messed up?
I don't actually understand what that question actually means, because like there's messed up Jamaicans, there's messed up Kenyans, there's messed up Nigerians, there's messed up Ghanaians. What?
Again, it's always easy to pick the finger, because if I spoke to somebody else who was Congolese, I'd say, okay, why are all Ghanaian girls messed up?
As in,
like, I don't know what people want from us.
I don't know, but it does come down to that stereotype of that like girl that's got the loud hair. And you know but I don't know. There's this. I wrote a piece about it, by the way, guys. Actually, but like you know, it's come back to that stereotype that we're like really gregarious and loud and outgoing. But does that mean you're messed up because you're loud and outgoing? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm confused.
And again, it goes down to who you surround yourself with.
Because if you come into contact with all messed up Congolese girls, what do you do? I don't understand.
Question.
To who you surround yourself with, and if you keep meeting messed up Congolese girls, it says a lot about you as well. Like, why are they just coming to you? Maybe you're the problem, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much it. Like you said, there are messed up people from everywhere. From literally everywhere. And I feel like when it comes to Congo, people just have this massive issue. Like, I don't really know what it is. Like, there are still some good Congolese people out there doing well. And the reason why you may not come across them is because you may not know that they're Congolese, or they may not look Congolese. As you know, as people say, typical Congolese people have loud hair or long eyelashes, long claw nails, and whatever. These are just stereotypes. So getting to be open-minded and stop putting us in a little box, you know, we're not all bad.
In the box that wears crocodile suits. We're not all in that box. Like, some of us are in very different other boxes that you probably don't know of yourself. How about that?
And plus, there's a lot that I could sit here and say about every culture. I can talk about Jamaicans, I can talk about Ghanaians, but my mind is not there. I'm not gonna say, oh, because one Jamaican person is like this, he's a spokesperson for everyone. Same with Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans, whatever. The one person that you meet does not represent the whole country.
And I think that's what people don't understand. They just meet one person that's crazy or tried to kill them for something. That's it. Everyone person.
I do believe that's become popular to tarnish people. Like, okay, now on Twitter, Yoruba guys are demons, men are trash. Like, people are so obsessed with saying, I've come across a couple of people like this, therefore everyone must be like this. Yeah. And I feel like it's become like, it's even banter now. Like, it's even fun to tarnish people with the same brush. Like, all men are trash. All Yoruba guys are like, what?
All Ghanaian guys are stingy.
All Ghanaian guys.
Oh no.
I don't know about that.
We can come back on that.
No, but it's just like
a lie though? Half lie, half true?
I don't want to offend nobody.
We're joking, guys, we're joking.
I ain't no racist or anything. I ain't no racist. No, but everyone thinks it's funny to just say, oh, all Congolese people are like that. But like, whether or not it's a minority or majority, the fact that you tarnish every single type of person and the same brush, it says a lot about you. Like, how can you say every person of one kind of demographic is the same? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. I just believe that human beings, even amongst people who are, I don't know, even of the same tribe, are very, very distinctively different.
And do you know what else really makes me angry? I don't know if you've ever had it when you meet sort of like a West African person, and then they're like, oh, you guys don't eat jollof. No, we don't eat jollof.
No, we don't eat jollof. We don't.
We really don't.
We don't
It's
eat.
actually just a West African thing.
Yeah.
So maybe if you took your mind out of West
Yeah, we
Africa,
don't.
you'd realise.
Do you know, like, the first time I made jollof rice in my house, everyone was just like, oh, what's this red rice? Literally, like,
It's
it
not a
was
thing
like,
that we do.
We just don't, like, don't get me wrong, I love jollof rice. I love it.
Ghana or Nigeria?
Like,
Ghanaian.
Oh, I'm a bit Nigerian, you know. Do you know what? Only because I'm a bit of a Nigerian. Only because I just, obviously I've got to stay true to my partner and stuff, you know. No, but I love jollof rice, but it's not one of my national dishes. Neither is it something that you can come to my house and eat, because we're going to eat rice and beans in my house. Because that's what we eat. So no, we don't eat jollof rice. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Number 2 myth. Oh, do you speak Lingala? Not everybody in Congo speaks in Lingala. Just like not everybody in Nigeria speaks Yoruba. We have different tribes. We have different areas. We have different dialects. So not everybody speaks. I've got a friend who's from Congo. What do you speak? No.
Oh, you're from Congo. Oh, do you know so and so? It's like the Congolese community is growing.
I don't tell a lie. You probably do.
No, is that, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of languages spoken in Ghana, but if you walk the streets of Congo, it's Kinshasa especially, most people will speak Lingala. I'm not gonna lie, but there are different ones. Secondly, no, we do slightly know each other. Because our community isn't as big as West Africa. You know, people can have a Euro person living next to them, and it's not, they don't know them. That's just not possible in Congolese culture.
So I even know your mum knows my mum, your mum knows my uncle back home.
I was just telling you.
But it depends what area you're from though. That's I think East London and North London, there's a higher population of Congolese people. But where I'm from in West London, in my young years, I didn't really know any Congolese
people. But your mum knows them though.
No, she didn't know anybody either. But when I was growing up and I started having Congolese friends, that's when I started like knowing so and so and so and so and so and so.
It's true. It's true.
It actually depends.
It depends.
And because of social media as well. We all have mutual friends, and then we end up being friends, and then you go to a certain event and they're there. So that's how kind of like.
But granted, our communities aren't as big as West African communities. Like I was just saying to the girls, like a Nigerian person can have a Nigerian Igbo person can have another Nigerian Igbo person next to them, and they don't know each other from anywhere. That's not that common with Congolese. Like more time, you will know each other if there's a connection somewhere, because our community is just so small, because there's not that many of us here basically.
And I think we kind of stick. I don't know whether this is a bit outlandish, but I feel like we stick together a bit more than other communities. Like I feel like when I meet another Congolese person, wherever they are, and I know that you're Congolese, I'm just like, oh, like that's my bro, that's my sister, kind of thing.
Not everyone.
Oh,
you think so?
Not everyone.
Really? I'm very much like, oh my gosh, I feel like Congolese people are like, oh my gosh, you're Congolese, my sis.
I'm like that. There's some people that aren't like that. They're just like that.
I've actually never come across that. Like, even when you tell your mum, like, oh, here's my friend, she's Congolese, immediately your mum's just like, oh, hi, come, my daughter. I don't have to speak English now when you're in come. I feel like we kind of do stick together-ish, kind of, maybe a little bit. Sort of.
But still, we still need to support each other a little bit
There's
more.
still work to be done.
All win.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And we'll get there. Another issue that was raised, I saw on Facebook, someone posted how Congolese girls love to go for guys who aren't Congolese.
Can't look at me.
Oh my god!
Bad.
So, what is the issue with our men? A lot of girls raised, when I was reading the Facebook post, a lot of girls said, oh, Congolese guys aren't serious, they're liars, they're cheaters, they're lazy, and all these things. But what I've realised as well is that some Congolese girls, they love to bring down Congolese men.
They do. They do.
If we don't uplift our own men, then who else will?
Yeah, you're right. She says while stating the Nigerian. But I do. I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm with the guy I'm with because he's Nigerian. I liked his qualities. I liked his character. I like this about him. Oh, he's Nigerian. That's what I'm gonna go for. Me personally, I'm not the sort of person where let me find a Congolese person, then go through his qualities. I'm just like, let me find a man. Yeah. Just like a man. And then if he's blue or Chinese or white or green or pink, then I'm going to go. That's just mine just happen to be Congolese. Sorry, Nigerian. I do. However, I don't disagree with, like, for example, my cousins who are like, I'm going to find a Congolese man and then look for those qualities. I don't disagree with that either, because if you want to keep culture in, that's absolutely fine, which I think, in fact, I'd probably prefer.
So guys, like, what can Congolese women do, like, to uplift Congolese men and to end up with Congolese men? You know, there's a lot of Congolese women going for other cultures and people from different countries.
I feel definitely like enlightening him about certain things. Like, I've got two brothers, both of them are not with Congolese girls, but my younger brother said to me, he's 21, so he's young, and he said to me, oh, do you know what I find long about being with a Congolese girl? And I was like, what? He goes, oh, paying bride price. And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, that's all long, like that whole bride price, the list stuff, like that's just too much for me. And I had to explain to him that a list or bride price is a sign of honour, it's a sign of gratitude to say, you've raised a fine young woman and I would like to marry her, so here's my sign of gratitude. It's not like, it's not something where you're paying, it's not a debt, you're not buying her, it's nothing like that. It's a cultural thing that means a lot to people, so don't just run away from a Congolese girl because of that. So like things like, say stuff like that, because other people would have looked at my brother and be like, oh, he doesn't like Congolese girls, but my brother just didn't have the understanding that if he wanted to ever marry one, what he'd have to do. So I just explained to him that stuff like that, and it's not so that my brother can leave his girl now find the Congolese. No, not at all. No, not at all. But it was to give him the understanding that this is why Congolese people do things. So just speaking to them, enlightening them, I think, definitely.
And what about you? Because you recently crossed the other side. This girl, let's say 5 years ago, her Congolese guy. Never ever. So what's made you change?
I don't know. I think it's a mix of different things. I think maybe age, environment, and I think experience as well. So I'm in a relationship with a Congolese guy, which is my first relationship with a Congolese guy. And it's not that I'm in a relationship with him because he's Congolese. I believe that you have to find not necessarily find, but you look for the characteristics that you need as opposed to want, but that's a separate discussion. The characteristics that you need, and whoever has them, then, you know, and you click with that person, then fine. But it's not necessarily, because I just want to be the Congolese person that I'm going to, you know, actively seek. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But for me, it was more like a natural friendship that then led into now a relationship. And I think I like being with a Congolese person because the initial culture barrier is broken, if I can call it a barrier. I know that we were talking earlier about it, and you had
It
some thoughts.
it definitely is a barrier because I'm Congolese, my partner's Nigerian, and it's not a barrier in the sense of you can get over it, but there's some, I know if I was to go to a Congolese person's house, or I can just come in and say bonjour maman, bonjour tante, and that is how we greet. Igbo people greet differently, Yoruba people greet differently. Do I have to get on the floor? Do I get on the 2 knees? Do I just bow? And if I bow,
whole body on the floor.
how long do I stay down there for? And then when I see you, your mum's older sister now, what do I call her? All of that. You think it's nothing, but it means a big thing when you're used to calling everyone mama.
Yeah.
You're just it becomes a bit is auntie rude? Can you call someone who's 60 auntie? No. It just starts getting all complicated. So I definitely, I don't feel like it's wrong to say I'm Congolese, I want to find a Congolese partner. I don't feel like it's wrong. Me personally, that's probably not the way I'd go about things. It's more like here are my qualities and let me find the person.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's wrong though, because it like Nash said, it's so much easier. I think it definitely is a lot easier. It's nice to see as well. It's nice to see that, but then it's also nice to see that Congolese, African people of the diaspora, here we are intermixing. So you go to a wedding where you see a gele and then you'll see kente, or you go to a wedding, and do you know what I mean? Just all mixed. It's lovely to see people in Africa marry within themselves. I love it.
And what you need to remember as well is there are more West Africans here than there are Congolese people. Yeah. So it's more likely for someone to be marrying someone that's Nigerian or Ghanaian. People will just mix because there's less Congolese people around.
But now, thanks to networks like Young Professional in Congolese.
Yes, let's big up YPC. That's where she found her boo. So you never know. You might find your
love at corporate events, you guys. There is love at corporate events. There is love at YPC. You never know.
You never know. YPC is Young Professional and Congolese. So it's a network that brings people that work in the corporate world together and then just share their experiences. She's actually part of the team, so you can explain a little bit more about that.
So it's just a really good network to be a part of. We meet every quarter and we have networking events where we have different people from the diaspora speaking about what they do and also how you can get involved. It's just a great hub, I guess, to be part of and just to connect with like-minded people. And recently we've just launched the YPC Hub, which is for entrepreneurs, and also we're going to be having some professional development workshops. So if you're Congolese and are looking to touch base with like-minded people and you're a young professional, get in touch. Audrey, you're gonna...
Yes, I'll leave all the links down below, and us three will be there as well. I think we'll be in April, but it will be confirmed. And so I think we've covered everything. So at the start we answered a tweet that was sent by an individual saying how we get bantered on TL, so you just need to rise above that and watch who you hang around with and make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people. Again, if you have no one to look up to you or you have no one that inspires you, make sure you're that person that lifts other people or be that inspiration for other people. And then we spoke about Congolese women, the stereotypes with like the long nails, the crazy hair, crocodile shoes. We're not all like that. It's not great when we're all put in the same category. And then we spoke about dating, like Congolese women uplifting their men, and a lot of Congolese men feel like we're just neglecting them and going for the Ghanaians and the Nigerians. But But yes, girls, Congolese women out there, let's uplift our men. Let's encourage them, inspire them, and motivate them to be a better version of themselves, and so that they can inspire the younger generation and that they have people to look up to as well. Pretty much it. I'll leave everyone's social media down below. Feel free to contact if you have any questions. And thank you, girls, for joining me. Alright then, that's it from us guys. Stay tuned and bye.